The bias I just described in the last two examples is called the availability heuristic or the availability bias. This bias estimates the likelihood or risk of an event based on how easily examples or instances of it come to mind. That is, how available that event or group of events is in our mind. How likely or common something is judged to be is based on three things. One is easy recall. How easily we remember something or instances of something or examples of some event. We usually remember more recent things and more emotionally striking things. Second is frequency and repetition. If we are exposed to something more often or repeatedly, we tend to think that that phenomenon or event is more likely to happen. We may miss the many more times it does not happen, or miss the fact that we are looking at a non-representative sample. The third big factor for the availability heuristic is how emotionally striking something is, and how vividly and graphically it is etched into our minds. And here, the media and movies play a big part. Dramatizing, sensationalizing, or vividly portraying some stereotypes or events may make them more emotionally striking, which in turn makes them easier to recall and seem more frequent, and therefore a bigger risk. And this is not based on real probabilities or statistics at all. Now, here is another excellent example of the availability heuristic. What do you think is the single biggest cause of death globally? That's the data from 2017. It's usually a surprise for people to know that cardiovascular disease is the single largest cause of death worldwide, and it is number one by a huge margin. The second biggest reason, cancer, has only about half the deaths as cardiovascular disease. And it is not a sensational or striking cause of death, cardiovascular disease. Look at the lowest two categories, natural disasters and terrorism. They have the lowest number of deaths, negligible compared to cardiovascular disease, cancer, or a few other diseases. But those are emotionally striking categories of death, right? How newsworthy do you think it is when someone dies of a heart attack or stroke? How about a terrorist attack or hurricane? Which category do you think will be covered in the news for days and weeks? It's not just the media. The government and other institutions too are victims of this heuristic or bias when they allocate budgets and spending. That chart you see is data from 2011, and it measures annual spending in US dollars versus the actual reason for death from that condition in a year. We have several reasons, from heart disease and cancer to car accidents and terrorism. We can again easily see the bias and its influence. Boring old heart disease causes the most deaths, but is not sensational, glamorous, or dramatic enough to warrant much spending. Cancer, on the other hand, is far more newsworthy. It tugs at our emotional strings much more than heart disease. Maybe because there have been multiple movies made of cancer and cancer survivors and their struggle with cancer, or of those who did not survive. And of course, terrorism is the most horrific and striking, much more sensational. So even though it results in very few deaths compared to these diseases, it has the maximum spending. I know that this is a sensitive topic for some of you, and I'm not saying that only the high death risks need to be dealt with and the others need to be ignored. Not at all. But there does have to be some correlation between the two if we claim to be at least a little rational in these decisions. But what's revealed repeatedly by the data is the huge discrepancy between the actual risk and the perceived risk, and a lot of it is due to the availability heuristic bias, which is often further fueled by the media, politicians, and other vested interests.